Kesters from Walsh Jesuit High School, and this section is on the rewrite method for factoring quadratic trinomials. So let's look at our first example. We've got 5m squared plus 22m plus 8. Now we have only done once before that we have the factor by, or with the perfect squares, so we see that we have a middle term here. So what you have to do whenever you have a middle term is you want to do 5 times 8, which is going to give me 40. Now you want to find factors of 40 that add to 22. So if you think about it, you realize that 20 and 2 are my two factors of 40 that add to 22. So this is the part that's called the rewrite method. So you rewrite 5m squared. Now you rewrite 22m as 20m plus 2m, and then bring down your plus 8. Now if you were to switch these and make it 2m plus 20m, that doesn't matter, you still get the same answer. So what we did before is, if you realize we have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms, and if you remember from previous sections, you can factor by grouping, and you guys are really good at this. So we can group the front, group the back. So we can take out a 5m out of both of these, and you're left with m plus 4. Now for this one, you can take out a 2, and we're left with m plus 4. You see m plus 4 twice, so cross those guys out, and you're left with 5m plus 2. So this is your final answer. So 5m squared plus 22m plus 8 will factor into m plus 4 times 5m plus 2. All right, let's try another example. Now we have r squared minus 12r plus 35. Now you don't see a number out here, but really it's a 1. Okay, so you can do 1 times 35 gives me 35. Now we need factors of 35 that add to a negative 12. So the factors of 35 that add to a negative 12 would be negative 5 and negative 7. Having those negative signs in there are very, very important. So rewrite. You have 1r squared minus 5r minus 7r. Then plus 35. So from there we have our 4 terms, so we can factor by grouping. You have this minus sign in the middle, so make sure you change the sign behind it to be minus. So you can take out an r, and you're left with r minus 5. In the second group, you can take out a 7, and you're left with r minus 5. You see r minus 5 twice. Cancel those guys out, and you're left with r minus 7 left over. So r squared minus 12r plus 35 will factor into r minus 5, r minus 7. Alright, we've got another example here. We have 2b squared plus b minus 6. So 2 times negative 6 gives me a negative 12. Factors of negative 12 that add to, there's really a 1 right here. So factors of negative 12 that add to 1 would be a positive 4 and a negative 3. So let's do the rewrite. You've got 2b squared plus 4b minus 3b minus 6. Group. That minus sign changes the sign behind it. So you can factor out a 2b, and we're left with b plus 2. Now you can factor out a 3 out of 3b plus 6, and you have 3, then you're left with b plus 2. You see b plus 2 twice, so those guys cancel out, and you're left with 2b minus 3 left over, which is your final answer. b plus 2 times 2b minus 3. Alright, we've got one last one. If you look at all these numbers, we've got 6v squared minus 21v plus 15. If you look at all of these numbers, what do you notice? You notice you can take a 3 out of all of them, because I really don't feel like doing 6 times 15 and then finding all those factors that equal 21. So what you can do is take a 3 out of all of them, and you're left with 2v squared minus 7v plus 5. Now take that 3, put a circle around it, and put an arrow down so you don't forget to put it in your answer. Now do the rewrite method. 2 times 5 gives me 10. Factors of positive 10 that add to negative 7 are negative 5 and negative 2. So let's do that rewrite method. 2v squared minus 5v minus 2v plus 5. Group the front, group the back. Change that sign in the middle, because that middle sign is negative, change the sign behind. You can take a v out of the first two, and you're left with 2v minus 5. Now, what can you take out of 2v minus 5? You can't take anything out, but you can take out a 1. You need to have that placeholder. You can take a 1 out, and you're left with 2v minus 5. You see 2v minus 5 twice, cross those guys out, and you're left with v minus 1 left over. Don't forget about this 3 that you factored out because you have this arrow down here. So my final answer is 3 times the quantity of 2v minus 5 times v minus 1. Alright, that's it for today. So if you have any questions, please stop in the math office or email me at kesterse@walshjesuit.org, and I'll see you in class.